Welcome, deep divers. Today, we're plunging into a really vital subject.
Yeah, something that's been sort of gnawing at the edges, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. We're talking about something profoundly unsettling. It's the way violence, and maybe even worse, the celebration of violence,
Uh-huh.
has sort of woven itself into our political talk.
It's insidious.
Let's start with a thought experiment. Something our sources really force us to look at.
Okay.
Imagine a public figure, let's use the source's example, Charlie Kirk. He's murdered while speaking to college students.
Right. A horrific scenario.
So what's your gut reaction? What should it be? Most of us would think, universal outrage.
Absolutely. You'd expect people to say, this is wrong. This is unconscionable.
That's the logical, the humane response.
Mm.
But what if that's not what happens?
And this is the chilling part the sources raise. What if, instead, the internet just lights up
Lights up how?
with celebrations?
Yeah.
Actual cheers, memes, people laughing, sharing it.
Laughing at a murder. Because the person wore a different political jersey.
Exactly. What if it becomes, like the sources say, just another headline nowadays?
Something you just scroll past. Barely registers.
Let that sink in for a second.
It's not even about the specific person, is it? It's about what that reaction says about us.
It's a mirror. A really disturbing mirror.
Showing how far maybe we've fallen, where a life, if it has the wrong political label, just becomes like a point in some twisted game.
The sources call it an evil mask slipping.
Yeah, a sign that we all crossed into something that is a lot darker than just politics.
It's beyond concerning. It feels like an alarm bell.
So what does it mean for us? For society, for our sanity even, when things get this low?
When that basic shared humanity just gets tossed aside for political hate.
Exactly.
Well, that's really the mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To unpack that unsettling truth.
We need to explore how violence actually got integrated into political conversation.
And how this division is being, well, engineered.
And crucially, the consequences, the spiritual consequences for our sanity, our society.
We need to expose what the sources bluntly call the biggest con of our entire life.
Right, and understand who's really pulling the strings behind all this chaos.
Because deep down, the human spirit needs connection, right? Understanding, not this constant division and hate.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Section 1. This alarming normalization of violence and, well, the death of debate.
The sources are really stark here. They claim violence isn't just happening around politics.
No, it's becoming a new form of political discourse.
That's a huge claim. And a terrifying one.
It suggests we've hit a new low, where that evil mask is slipping, like we said.
Showing something much darker than just, disagreeing on policy.
It really feels like we've crossed a line.
And that darker something is, well, it's the erosion of empathy, isn't it? Elevating aggression to a legitimate tool.
And it's insidious how it happens. The source material points to actual TV networks.
Airing clips over and over.
Yeah, clips that actively encourage people to see the other side, not as neighbors.
Neighbors we might disagree with.
Right. But as enemies. Enemies that need to be destroyed as a threat to society.
And this isn't just fringe stuff anymore. It's mainstream. A calculated strategy.
Designed to turn opponents into existential threats.
Think about the spiritual toll of that. If you're constantly told your neighbor is the enemy.
How does that affect your compassion, your trust, your basic sense of community?
It corrupts it. It has to.
And the rhetoric isn't subtle. It's shockingly explicit sometimes.
The sources pull direct quotes.
Yeah.
Things that, a few years ago would have ended careers.
Like, these people are a threat. These people are dangerous.
Or even suggesting maybe some violence is justified.
Chilling. And then there's the more visceral stuff, like schoolyard bullying, but on national TV.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
I take him behind a gym and beat the hell out of them.
And then the truly disturbing ones, they're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
The key thing, as the sources stress, is that these aren't isolated comments from some dark corner of the internet.
No, this is mainstream.
Thousands of these clips aired to millions.
Kind of nudging, suggesting, maybe planting seeds.
Maybe a fist, maybe a bullet, is a legitimate form of political debate.
The spiritual cost isn't just the violence itself. It's the numbing effect. The normalization of hate.
It eats away at our capacity for grace, for understanding.
It's fascinating and really disturbing how these statements just become part of the noise.
Accepted, even celebrated in some circles.
It completely shifts our perception of what's acceptable in public life.
And when that happens, it doesn't just corrode civil discourse.
It warps our moral compass. fundamentally.
The spiritual cost there is huge. We
Yeah.
lose the ability to engage respectfully, to find common ground.
You lose trust. It creates this background hum of anxiety,
Yeah, this constant tension that just wears you down spiritually, disconnects you.
Which brings us to that absolute concrete law of history the
Yeah.
sources mentioned.
Right. The minute your ideas need violence to spread,
They're already bankrupt. Completely.
it's not just a strong opinion. It's a historical pattern. You see it again and again.
Every tyrant, every
Yeah.
failed ideology, every societal collapse, it starts the same way.
Oh.
The debate dies. The debate
No.
dies. Then violence takes its place.
Simple as that.
Think about it. You can't argue with a gun. You can only kill with it.
And when killing, or just the threat of it, replaces conversation,
Society starts falling off a cliff. Not just politically, but spiritually, morally.
the spiritual costs seem irreversible almost.
A fundamental loss of humanity. Empathy replaced by hate. Shared values destroyed.
What kind of future are we building if that spiritual core compassion, forgiveness gets hollowed out?
It's a profound spiritual crisis. We sacrifice connection for division, for force. Our inner peace gets shattered.
It's a stark warning. Abandon debate for violence and we lose ourselves. It's a spiritual death trap.
Which leads directly to the next question. Why? Why is this happening?
And maybe more importantly, who benefits from this breakdown, this spiritual decay?
Who are the puppet masters here?
Okay, this is where things get maybe uncomfortable, because the sources hit us with a really big claim
The central thesis.
that we all have been sold the biggest con of our entire life.
And that con is?
That the problem is left versus right, or Republicans versus Democrats.
It's a bold statement. But the analysis is, well, it's compelling.
The idea is that this left-right fight isn't the real problem.
No, it's the distraction fireworks show.
The thing they want us screaming about.
We're doing something else.
Yeah.
It's a magician's trick. Misdirection.
And the media, cable news, social media feeds, they play a huge role.
Constantly showing the absolute fringe.
Right. The loudest, dumbest, most cartoonish people from the other side.
They're picked carefully, amplified. Not because they represent anyone.
But because they're easy to hate, easy to vilify.
Exactly. Think about it. When you talk to your actual neighbor, your coworker,
The mom next door who votes differently.
what do you usually find? Shared concerns, right?
Yeah.
Common decency.
Yeah, usually. But turn on the news. Scroll your feed. Is that who you see?
No way. You see a bunch of professional lunatics.
Handpicked, the sources say. Amplified.
Yeah.
To make you feel one thing.
Oh my God, these people are insane. They are the
Do
enemy.
you recognize that? That constant parade of outrage bait?
It's not designed to inform. It's designed to inflame, to alienate you, to sever those bonds of shared humanity.
It's a psychological operation, basically, on a massive scale.
And the sources are clear. None of this is an accident.
It's straight out of the playbook.
Textbook psychological operations in military SKOPS manuals, word for word.
Wow. So this isn't just like random media bias. It's a strategy.
A documented, deliberate strategy. The manuals literally say, isolate a target audience.
And you pump them full of a bunch of outrage.
You create a tribal us versus them identity.
And the spiritual angle there is twisting our need to belong into this destructive tribalism.
Yeah. Making us spiritually loyal to hate, not to shared values.
Hmm.
Programming us to see division as normal.
And the consequences of getting locked into that tribal thinking are, well, they're devastating.
You swallow anything. Believe any lie about the other side. Because it fixed the narrative.
You start to cheer when other people suffer. Feel sort of sick joy in it.
Convinced they deserve it. And you excuse things.
Things you'd never, ever excuse in your own neighborhood, from your own side.
Because tribal loyalty trumps your moral compass.
The sources put it so bluntly. This is exactly the playbook on how you get otherwise decent, kind people laughing at a murder on the internet.
That is how you radicalize a country without firing a shot.
It's not just political division. It's an attack on our shared humanity, a spiritual injury.
And the bigger picture, the purpose behind these ops. It's not just about winning elections.
No, it's to keep you divided, blind, and full of rage. Permanently.
Because, as the sources say, you share more in common with somebody across the aisle than with a billionaire donor or some media executive pretending to speak for you.
They want to prevent unity, because a united public is what they fear.
That constant state of spiritual warfare, that anger and suspicion, it exhausts us. It makes us easier to control.
So how does it happen? How does a normal person get turned into someone who cheers for an assassination online?
The sources lay out this chilling three-step formula, a playbook for radicalization.
And it mirrors how dangerous cults are built.
Step by insidious step. It chips away at your spiritual defenses.
Okay, what's step one?
Isolation. The strategy is you don't just disagree with people anymore, you're told not even to interact with them.
Wow. Not just disagree, but cut them off.
It's an imperative. Don't have friends on the other side, don't date them, don't work with them, cut them out of your life.
That sounds intense.
And the sources say bluntly, that's step one of joining a cult.
Because isolation removes other voices, makes you dependent on the group.
Exactly. Spiritually, it cuts you off from empathy, from different perspectives, makes you vulnerable to the narrative, hollows out your sense of connection.
Okay, so isolation first. Then what? Step two.
Echo chambers. This is where you surround yourself only with opinions that sound just like yours.
And social media algorithms are great at this.
Masters of it. They feed you more of what already pisses you off.
A feedback loop.
Right. So that rage gets recycled and concentrated like moonshine. More potent, more toxic.
With every click, every scroll.
And again, the sources are clear. This is step two of building a cult, a dangerous cult.
Because it hardens your heart, closes your mind, feeds that spiritual discontent.
Leaves you agitated, defensive, unable to see alternatives.
So isolation, echo chambers. What's step three?
The tribal script, the ultimate us versus them narrative.
This is where nuance just dies.
Completely evaporates. It becomes absolute moral dichotomy. Your side is righteous, their side is evil.
Every issue, big or small.
Taxes, healthcare, zoning laws, suddenly becomes a holy war. Life or death. Good versus evil.
That toxic cocktail of outrage plus righteous superiority.
Makes people feel morally justified in hating and silencing and celebrating violence.
This is true radicalization.
Turning regular people into sleeper agents without them even knowing.
And the spiritual impact there is corrupting your own sense of morality, using it for hate.
Exactly. Justifying awful things because you think you're on the side of the angels, even while descending into darkness.
It's a powerful breakdown. And the worst part, it's not an accident.
No, it's deliberate, engineered step by step.
To keep you outraged, blind, punching at shadows.
And it's happening on both sides of that imaginary aisle.
This manufactured chaos, this spiritual fracturing, it serves a purpose.
Which brings us back to, who are the architects? Who benefits from this?
Right. The media, money, and this covert elite.
So let's talk about the media's role first. We used to think of the press as the watchdog, right?
It's supposed to uncover facts, hold power accountable, keep us informed. A civic duty. Almost spiritual, in a way.
But the sources argue that's changed, fundamentally.
It's not just right versus left anymore. It's
Darkness versus light, as they put it. The media acting less like a town hall.
and more like a circus tent with a lot more in common to a casino.
A propaganda machine just churning out outrage.
That points to a serious ethical, even spiritual decline. Truth takes a backseat to manipulation.
Creates a spiritual fog, obscuring reality.
And why? Why the shift?
Cynical answer. Facts are boring to people.
But outrage.
Outrage sells. Outrage keeps you glued to the screen. It's metrics, engagement, attention.
So instead of nuance, you get
A carefully curated nightmare reel of the absolute worst of the other side.
not the whole picture, twisting stories into a blame game, ignoring inconvenient facts.
The goal, keep you loyal to your tribe, addicted to whatever their version, twisted horror movie version of reality really is.
It's not just about ads anymore, it's about distraction.
While you're frothing at the mouth over some clip, the real players
The entrenched people.
are operating unchecked, getting richer, solidifying power.
And that constant distraction just drains your spiritual energy, leaves you too tired to think critically.
Which leads us to who these entrenched people are, the true beneficiaries.
The covert elite, the sources call them.
And they're not cartoon villains. They're sophisticated actors,
CEOs and mega donors to political campaigns.
political lifers, heads of media conglomerates.
And their key move, they donate to both sides.
They cash substantial sums no matter who wins the election. They play both sides of the aisle.
Because both sides pay out. They don't care about your politics.
They care about their bottom line, their power.
They don't care about your values, your family, your future, your spiritual well-being. Forget it.
Sources say they care about one thing, and that's control.
And their weapon of choice.
Division is the cheapest, most effective tool ever invented for that.
Sounds exactly like those psychological operations again.
It's the same playbook. The sources spell it out. Identify your target audience.
Feed them selected information, push their emotions, change their behavior.
It's documented. Time-tested manipulation.
And the chilling part is,
This isn't theory. This is the same exact playbook. Except this time the battlefield is not Afghanistan.
it is your living room. It's your Twitter feed. It's your nightly news.
Our homes, our phones, they're battlegrounds for our minds, our souls, our thoughts and feelings weaponized against us.
And you see the evidence everywhere if you look past the noise.
Both parties scream about each other constantly.
But they rarely touch the things that really matter to you, right?
Always money for war.
Never enough to fix the roads, invest in communities.
And notice how billionaires always seem to fund both sides of the elections.
Corruption, as the sources say, is bipartisan.
And the covert elite need people locked in this tribal warfare.
Because if you ever woke up,
Realize you share more with the other side than with a millionaire donor on your own side.
the whole game collapses instantly.
It challenges everything you think about politics. It reveals the manipulation, the spiritual cost, preventing us from seeing shared humanity.
It's a crucial point. Their biggest fear is our unity. Their power relies on our hate, our chaos.
And realizing that, that's the first step. It's an awakening. Reclaiming your spiritual sovereignty.
So if it's all an engineered trick, where do we go? How do we reclaim sanity, humanity, spiritual peace?
The sources suggest a simple but revolutionary shift. Focus on common human needs.
Strip away the slogans, the hashtags, the media talking points. What do regular people really want, deep down?
This connects us. It's fundamental. It transcends politics. It's a spiritual anchor.
As the sources put it, we want our kids safe.
We want a roof that doesn't leak. We want food in the fridge.
We want a job that doesn't crush our freaking soul.
And we want some goddamn honesty from the people who claim to represent you.
That's the unifying truth, isn't it?
That guy with the bumper sticker you hate, he wants the same thing.
The woman in the Magier hat at the store, same thing.
The mom working 3 jobs, too busy for politics, she wants it too.
Our basic needs, our hopes, they're universal. A common ground the division tries desperately to hide.
Because if we recognized it, the whole system of control would fall apart.
And what do they never show you on TV?
Never, ever.
That you have that much in common with people who voted differently.
Instead, they construct this distorted reality.
Show you this screaming protester with the purple hair.
This red-faced conspiracy guy spitting at the camera. The absolute fringe.
Why? Not for information.
Because fringe pisses you off. Fringe makes you hateful and angry.
Fringe makes you think that the other half of the country has lost its freaking mind.
It's psychological warfare, inducing fear, spiritual alienation.
And it's not random. It's data-backed manipulation.
Real studies, hard data prove it. The algorithms, the media, they deliberately push what enrages you.
Because the more enraged you are, the longer you stay hooked.
They're literally feeding you a diet of enemies instead of neighbors.
Creating this warped carnival funhouse mirror.
Where the loudest, weird-ass 1% of extremists look like 160 million people. And it's not true.
It is a lie.
It's a spiritual attack, programming us to see fellow humans as monsters, eroding empathy, love, community. The spiritual burden of that anger is immense.
But grasping that is liberating.
The sources offer this truth. You and that weird uncle that you argue with at Thanksgiving, you're not enemies.
You're both being played. You're both being manipulated.
The second you realize that, the second you look across that imaginary aisle and see a human, not a cartoon,
is the moment that the scam starts to collapse.
It's about remembering shared humanity, choosing to see past the hate. It's a spiritual act. Reclaiming your own goodness.
And that lets us identify the real enemy, let's be clear.
It's not your Democrat neighbor. It's not your Republican uncle.
No, the real enemy is entrenched power.
Power that thrives on one thing: chaos.
The real enemy profits when you're divided, distracted, dehumanizing each other.
It was never left versus right. It was always about the people versus the powerful.
The spiritual war is against that dehumanization, that erosion of our collective soul.
So, what's the path forward? How do we break the cycle? Reclaim spiritual balance.
The sources say, sanity right now is the most rebellious act that you can commit in this country.
And what does that sanity look like?
It means refusing to let CNN or Fox News or Twitter decide who your enemies are.
It means looking across that probably imaginary aisle and saying,
you know what, I disagree with your ass, but you're not the devil.
That's a profoundly spiritual act. Seeing the divine spark even in disagreement.
Sanity is also truly openly saying violence is not politics.
Violence becomes the death of politics.
By refusing the outrage game, refusing to cheer for blood.
You're already breaking the spell.
And the beautiful thing, sanity is contagious.
If millions refuse, the machine collapses.
We don't need permission to stop being pawns. We need to choose compassion, understanding, light, overcome the spiritual cost of hate.
Which brings us to a personal commitment, a pledge for unity, for humanity.
That hypothetical death of Charlie Kirk, it was a mirror showing how far we've fallen.
But there's hope in recognizing that. Power. The machine only works if we feed it.
It runs on our clicks, our outrage, our willingness to see half the country as monsters.
If you starve this, it's going to die. It's a spiritual imperative.
Think about your actual neighbors, coworkers, parents at school. Do they really look like those caricatures on TV?
Hell no. They look like you.
They look like me.
Tired, overworked, worried, praying for a future that isn't completely unhinged.
That's the America they don't show you. Because if they did, you'd stop hating. You'd see reality, regain spiritual peace.
So here's the pledge. Maybe say it out loud with us. A personal act of spiritual rebellion.
Okay.
I will not let anything electronic decide who my neighbor is.
I will not let political violence become normal.
I will no longer let propaganda tell me who to hate.
I will never cheer for blood.
I will choose sanity.
I will choose unity.
I will choose to see the humanity in people before I see their politics.
And if enough of us take that stand,
The whole entire rotten, nasty structure starts to fall. The simple truth, the spiritual truth is, there are more sane people than there are psychopaths.
what we're seeing online is fake. There are more of us than there are of them.
The second we remember that, refuse to be divided, the game is permanently over.
The choice is ours right now. Do we keep the programming? Keep letting them turn us into sociopaths, harming our collective soul?
Or do we break the script, take back our sanity? Remember, we are one people, one community, not two tribes in spiritual warfare.
The power to choose connection over division rests with each of us, love over hate.
So remember this. If something online now just consistently pisses you off,
You know for sure you're witnessing social engineering. That awareness, that's power. The first step to reclaiming your mind, your heart, your spiritual peace.
and let's leave you with that profound thought from Martin Luther King Jr. It really captures the spiritual stakes.
Go ahead.
The ultimate weakness of violence is that it is a descending spiral, begetting the very thing it seeks to destroy. Instead of diminishing evil, it multiplies it. Through violence, you may murder the liar, but you cannot murder the lie. Through violence, you may murder the hater, but you do not murder the hate. In fact, violence merely increases hate.
And the final lines.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
A deeply resonant message. So as you go about your day, maybe just consider, what small actions can you take?
To choose sanity, unity, love, help break this spell, heal our collective spirit.